Hey everyone, stop whatever you're doing for just 10 seconds and answer this one question honestly. What if I told you that the little boy who played the most innocent kid on American television, the cute red-haired Opie who used to walk with his dad holding a fishing pole, that same little boy would grow up to win not one, but 2 Academy Awards, direct movies that made over $8 billion worldwide, and become one of the most powerful and respected men in Hollywood, all while staying the nicest, most humble guy in the room. You probably won't believe me, but that boy exists. His name is Ronald William Howard. The world knows him as Ron Howard. And today, for the next 40 minutes, I'm going to take you through his complete life story, from a tiny town in Oklahoma to the Oscar stage, every struggle, every lucky break, every secret that made him who he is. By the end of this video, you'll not only know Ron Howard, you'll understand why he is living proof that good guys can actually finish first in Hollywood. Let's start at the very beginning, because this story begins even before Ron was born. The year is 1954. The place is Duncan, Oklahoma, a small town where everybody knows everybody. On March 1st, a baby boy is born to 2 struggling actors, Rance Howard and Jean Spiegel Howard. They name him Ronald William Howard. From day one, this kid is surrounded by show business. His dad is a tall, handsome actor who changed his German last name, Beckenholt, to Howard, so he could get more roles. His mom is a beautiful actress who dreams of the big screen. They're broke most of the time, but they're in love with acting, and they pass that love straight to their son. When Ron is just 18 months old, yes, 1.5 years, he is already on stage. His parents are performing in a traveling play, and little Ron walks out holding his mom's hand. The audience goes crazy. They think it's the cutest thing ever. That moment plants a seed. Acting isn't something Ron chooses later in life. It chooses him from the cradle. By the time he is 4 years old, Ron gets his first movie role. It's 1958. The movie is called The Journey. He has almost no lines, but the director loves how natural he looks. 1 year later, in 1959, he appears in an episode of The Twilight Zone, the famous episode called Walking Distance. If you've seen it, you know the one. A man goes back in time to his childhood. Little Ron plays one of the kids on the carousel. Even at age 5, people notice something special: his eyes. They look honest. They look real. That's going to become his superpower. But the role that changes everything comes in 1960. Ron is only 6 years old when he walks into an audition in Los Angeles. Hundreds of kids are there. The show is called The Andy Griffith Show. They're looking for a boy to play Opie, the son of Sheriff Andy Taylor. Ron walks in wearing overalls. He has bright red hair and freckles. He looks exactly like the all-American kid from a storybook. Andy Griffith takes one look at him and says, "That's Opie." For the next 8 years, from 1960 to 1968, Ron Howard becomes Opie Taylor to the entire country. He is in every single episode, all 249 of them. America falls in love with this little boy who calls his dad, Pa, who carries a fishing pole, who learns life lessons every week. Ron is earning $1,000 per episode by the end. That's a lot of money in the 1960s, but his parents make sure he stays grounded. No fancy cars, no Hollywood parties, just school, homework, and learning lines. While filming the show, Ron is also making movies. In 1962, at age 8, he stars in The Music Man, the big Hollywood musical with Robert Preston and Shirley Jones. Ron plays Winthrop, the little boy with the lisp. He has to sing Gary, Indiana, with that funny lisp, and he nails it. The movie becomes a classic. That same year, he is on the cover of magazines. He is the most famous child in America. But here's the thing nobody saw coming. Even at age 8, Ron is not just acting. He is watching. He is standing behind the camera whenever he is allowed. He asks the director questions. He watches how the lights are set up. He listens to how the sound guy records dialogue. His dad, Rance, is also directing small plays, and Ron is always there, soaking it all in. He is already dreaming of sitting in the director's chair one day. Fast forward to 1973. Ron is now 19 years old. The Andy Griffith Show ended 5 years ago. Most child stars crash at this point. Drugs, bad movies, forgotten. But Ron gets the role of a lifetime. A young director named George Lucas is making a small movie called American Graffiti. It's about teenagers in 1962 cruising in the cars, listening to rock and roll. Ron plays Steve, the clean-cut guy who has to decide whether to stay with his girlfriend or go to college. The movie costs just $775,000 to make. It earns $140 million. It gets 5 Oscar nominations. And suddenly, Ron Howard is not just that kid from TV, he is a serious actor. 1 year later, in 1974, everything explodes again. A new sitcom starts called Happy Days. Ron plays Richie Cunningham, the good guy, the boy next door, the one everybody trusts. Opposite him is Henry Winkler as Fonzie, the cool leather jacket guy. The show becomes a global phenomenon. At its peak, 30 million people watch every week. Ron is now 20, 21, 22 years old, and he is the most famous young man in America for the second time in his life. But something is bothering him. He loves acting. He loves Richie. But deep inside, he keeps thinking about directing. He wants to tell stories, not just say lines. He starts talking to producers. He begs for a chance. Most of them laugh. You're Richie Cunningham. You make millions just smiling at the camera. Why risk it? Ron doesn't listen. In 1977, at age 23, he gets his first directing job. It's a low-budget car chase comedy called Grand Theft Auto. The budget is tiny, just $600,000. Roger Corman, the king of cheap movies, gives him the chance only because Ron agrees to star in it too. Ron directs it, acts in it, and even helps write the script with his dad. The movie is silly, full of crashes and jokes, but it makes money. More importantly, Ron proves he can finish a movie on time and under budget. Hollywood takes notice. Now he has a tough decision. Happy Days is still the biggest show on TV. They want him for many more years. But Ron says no. In 1980, at age 26, he leaves the show that made him rich and famous to become a full-time director. Most people think he is crazy. Henry Winkler, his co-star, hugs him and says, "You're either going to be a genius or unemployed." Ron chooses genius. His first big studio movie is in 1982, a comedy called Night Shift. It stars Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton. It's about 2 guys who run a prostitution ring out of a morgue. Yeah, it's weird, but funny. The movie is a hit. Critics love it. Ron is now a real director. 2 years later, in 1984, he makes Splash, the movie where Tom Hanks falls in love with a mermaid played by Daryl Hannah. It's the first movie for Tom Hanks that makes him a star. Splash earns $140 million. Ron is only 30 years old, and he is already making blockbusters. 1985, Cocoon, a beautiful sci-fi movie about old people who find the fountain of youth. It wins an Oscar for Don Amish. 1988, Willow, a huge fantasy adventure with magic and little people. 1989, Parenthood, a funny and emotional movie about family that makes Steve Martin cry on screen. Every movie Ron touches turns to gold, but the movie that puts him in the history books comes in 1995. It's called Apollo 13. Tom Hanks again. It's the true story of the NASA mission that almost ended in disaster. Ron spends a year researching. He films real scenes inside a real zero-gravity plane, the Vomit Comet. The movie is so accurate that astronauts cry when they see it. It gets 9 Oscar nominations. Ron is now considered one of the best directors alive. The peak comes in 2001. Ron makes A Beautiful Mind, the true story of John Nash, a brilliant mathematician who has schizophrenia. Russell Crowe plays Nash. Jennifer Connelly plays his wife. The movie is heartbreaking and inspiring. On Oscar night 2002, Ron Howard, the little boy who once played Opie, walks on stage and wins 2 Academy Awards, Best Director and Best Picture. When he thanks his parents in the speech, the whole world is crying with him. But life is not just success. Ron also has failures. In 2006 he makes The Da Vinci Code, huge money, but many critics hate it. In 2018 he takes over Solo, a Star Wars story, at the last minute when the original directors are fired. He saves the movie, but some fans still complain. In 2020 he makes Hillbilly Elegy, for Netflix, again, mixed reviews. But here's what makes Ron different. He never blames anyone. He never fights on Twitter. He just keeps working. Today, in 2025, Ron Howard is 71 years old. He has directed 28 feature films. His movies have made more than $8 billion worldwide. He co-owns Imagine Entertainment, a company that made TV shows like 24, Friday Night Lights, and Genius. He has 4 children, including actress and director Bryce Dallas Howard, and he has been married to his high school sweetheart Cheryl for 50 years. 50 years. In Hollywood, he still has that same red hair, now white, and the same kind smile. People who work with him say the same thing. Ron is the nicest man in show business. Tom Hanks calls him America's dad. Steven Spielberg says he is the only director who never raises his voice on set. So what is the secret? How did a child star avoid drugs, avoid scandal, avoid ego, and become a legend? Here are the 5 lessons I learned from Ron Howard's life. Start early, but stay curious. He never stopped learning. Family first. His parents kept him humble. His wife keeps him grounded. Take big risks when everyone says no. Leaving Happy Days was crazy and genius. Be kind. Kindness is his superpower. It opens every door. Never stop telling stories. At 71, he still has new movies coming out. Ron Howard is living proof that you don't have to be loud, angry, or controversial to win. You just have to be good at what you do, and good to the people around you. So next time you see an old episode of The Andy Griffith Show, and little Opie is walking down the dirt road whistling, remember, that kid grew up to hold an Oscar in each hand, and never forgot where he came from. Thank you so much for watching this full story of Ron Howard. If this video made you smile, made you cry, or made you believe that good guys can win, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because I make long, detailed life stories exactly like this one every single week. Tell me in the comments, what is your favorite Ron Howard movie? Mine is A Beautiful Mind, but Apollo 13 Inches is a very close second. I'll see you in the next one. Stay kind, stay curious, and keep chasing your dreams, because if Opie can do it, so can you.